If you'd like to turn your expertise into cash by telling true stories that inspire people to change their lives, using a simple system to make £673,000 in just 9 days, then this will be the most exciting video you watch today. Hi, my name's Roland Eva, and 5 years ago I accidentally discovered a simple way to turn expertise into £673,000 in just 9 days. I took that experience and created a simple 5-step system so that I could repeat that level of success again and again and again. In this video series, I'd like to show you how to use my simple 5-step system so you can enjoy the same level of success in your life. Here's my simple 5-step formula. Step 1, define your expertise. Step 2, build a community of raving fans. Step 3, earn their trust. Step 4, package your expertise. And step 5 is to make your community feel good about buying from you. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to define your expertise. So we're going to cover step 1. But before we get into that, I'd like to answer another question, the question that's on your mind. The question that's saying prove it. Because guess what? I've made a pretty big and bold statement. And I know that if I was in your situation, the first thing on my mind would be prove it. You know, to make £673,000 in just 9 days, like that would be amazing if it was true. And what I'd like to do is to answer that question on your mind. I'd like to prove to you that yes, indeed, this is true. Yes, this is possible. And yes, you can do it too. So my marketing journey began in 2009 when I lost my photography and graphic design business. So from 2005 to 2008, my business had grown and I'd enjoyed the thrill of watching a business grow, making a business grow. Now, I wasn't the greatest photographer or graphic designer in the world, but I was good enough. I had corporate clients that flew me all over the world, and that was pretty cool, that was pretty exciting. I had my weekends booked with weddings, and in between times, I was working on the pictures to give to the clients, and guess what? Looking for new clients, because that's what a business was all, certainly that's what that business is all about. Finding new clients, doing the work, keeping them happy, and then repeating that system again and again. But then in 2008, the music stopped. Now, I remember the precise day the music stopped. So let me ask you a question. Where were you on Monday, the 15th of September, 2008? Where were you when you heard the news that Lehman Brothers had just gone bust? The news that a tidal wave of change had just washed ashore, and that small convenient umbrella that you keep with you in your bag just in case there's a shower, that wasn't going to keep you dry anymore. No. This was a huge change, a change unprecedented, a change none of us had ever seen before. So where was I? I know exactly where I was. I was sat on the edge of a bed in a hotel room in Barcelona, waiting for my wife to take a shower before we went out for dinner. I was on honeymoon, and I'd absent-mindedly turned on the television. And because I was in Barcelona, the only channel that was in English was the news. So there I am watching these events unfold, and I'm looking for answers. But there were no answers that day, there were just facts. There were just facts about what had happened. But what I wanted to know was, what did it all mean? And searching for that answer kept me transfixed. I was staring at the television set. Eventually my wife taps me on the shoulder. She says, "Are we going?" I'm like, hang on a second. How much time had passed from the moment I absent-mindedly turned on the television until then? I don't know. But I was transfixed. I just couldn't tear myself away from the television. So eventually we walked through the busy streets of Barcelona through to a restaurant. And on the way, I was trying to explain to my wife what had happened. And I told her, the investment bank Lehman Brothers has just gone bust. Her reaction was, so what? What does that mean to us? Now, I'm not an economic analyst, and I wasn't trying to be. But I said to her, I just think a lot of businesses are going to go under, and then it's going to be really hard to make money. Now, I couldn't tell you why I felt that way. I just did. But I was determined that my business would not go under. And I couldn't tell you why I thought my business wouldn't go under. I was just determined that it wouldn't. Unfortunately, determination without a strategic plan that's backed up with, a proven plan that's backed up with action is just futile. I did lots and lots of activity, but the wrong activity. I was doing more of what had worked in the past, but it wasn't working now. The only problem was, and I could see that it wasn't working, the problem was I didn't know what else to do. So rather than try and learn my way out of the problem, I was trying to spend my way out of the problem. And all I did was burn a hole faster through my savings, burn a hole faster through the safety net that I'd built up over many years. So eventually, circumstance forced me to close my business. And the one thing I knew was that I was a pretty good photographer. I had decent clients. But why did my business fail? Because I didn't know how to do sales and marketing well enough. I didn't know how to find the ideal customer, persuade them elegantly, and make them feel good about buying. I didn't know how to do that. So I knew that marketing held the key to business growth. So what did I do? I looked for a job in marketing. And I found a job in a specialist PC gaming distribution company. And it was a pretty exciting job because I was managing the marketing in the UK for some of the biggest names in PC gaming. So if you're a PC gamer, these names will mean something to you. Names like Razer, Corsair, Sennheiser. I managed the UK campaigns for all of that. Now, if you're not a PC gamer, as I wasn't, then those names mean nothing to you. And that's okay. But just imagine these are like the Microsoft and the Apples of the PC gaming world. These are huge names. So the fact that I managed their marketing in the UK, that was pretty cool. But they were happy with the activity that I did. I sponsored esports competitions. I got them great reviews in all of the top magazines and on all of the top blogs. Why? Because I'd made great relationships with the magazine editors and the blog owners. And I got them great coverage, great advertising coverage in all the magazines. So they were really pleased with what I was doing. But I wasn't. I felt like a complete fraud because I was spending £100,000 of their money and I couldn't prove it made a single sale. So my search was, how can marketing grow a business? And this wasn't taking me closer to that. So what did I do? I looked where you might expect in traditional education. I joined the Chartered Institute of Marketing. This is like the degree of marketing. Like, this is the institute. This is, the UK, you want the badge of honor, this is where I went. So I went there and I did their certificate and professional levels of qualification. But they also didn't give me the answers that I was looking for. I wanted to know how marketing activity and spend that you make today could directly impact sales that you enjoy tomorrow. And that didn't give it to me. So I didn't get it through traditional education, and I didn't get it through my job. So I quit both. I quit that job and I looked for another job. So I joined an education company, and my role there was to create leads, targeted leads, warm leads for the sales team, and hopefully to make sales through the marketing activity itself. So this was perfect. This was just what I was looking for. There was just one problem. I didn't actually know how to do it. So initially, I failed spectacularly. I mean, it was really stressful because I had no idea what to do. Eventually, someone gave me a gift. It was an amazing gift. It was a list of book recommendations. So I started reading voraciously. I started reading every single day. 1 hour a day minimum, 2 hours more likely. Yeah? Because I had to get good quick. This is one, what I've been searching for. Two, this is what I needed for my job. Yeah? This is what I needed to pay the mortgage. So this started what was to be a great learning journey for me. So in addition to reading physical books every day, I was listening to audiobooks and online programs in my car, in the gym, anywhere I could. Yeah, so I was probably averaging about 3 hours a day of learning. Yeah, and I was getting good fast, or I was learning a lot. The problem is that each time I would learn what I later discovered was one piece of the puzzle. And that one piece of the puzzle kind of took me a few steps forward, and I would then try it, and I'd get better results. but it wasn't the giant leap that I was hoping for. And then I would learn something else, and then I would try it out, and again I would get an incremental increase, but it wasn't the giant leap that I was hoping for. And that all changed in December of 2014. So in September 2014, I got the greatest gift in the world, and that was my beautiful daughter. And in December of that year, I took the entire month off to spend time with her. Now, when she was sleeping, I was studying, and I was learning about product launches. So for an entire month, I spent 6-7 hours a day learning about product launches. And that was the missing piece of the puzzle. That kind of made everything else click together. So all of the learning that I've been doing for 3 or 4 years suddenly came together. So on the 5th of January 2005, which was the first day back of the year, I had what I thought was the map to El Dorado. I had what I thought was, the map to the fabled city of gold. This was the key that was going to unlock the door to a giant leap forward in sales. There was just one problem. It was very risky. This meant throwing away everything that we'd done before. Fortunately, I was given the freedom to try it out. Now, what we were doing was we were selling a low-level product. It was a £27 product. And the target that I set was 1,000. Now, my team and everybody in the office thought that I had a baby brain. They were like, you've spent a month with your daughter, you've got a baby brain. Because 200 would have been good. 300 would have been amazing. So setting a target of 1,000 was just totally unheard of. And guess what? We had 9 selling days. Day 1, we'd sold 23. Whew, that is a long way from Kansas. I mean, it looked like I had so much egg on my face. But I just kept following the system. I had faith in the system. And there was nothing else that I could do. But I genuinely did believe in the system. I had faith in the system. So what happened? 9 days later, we'd sold 1,113. I mean, this was a triumphant success. I was thrilled. Now, did I get a pat on the back for that? No way. The only thing people wanted to do was to know how we could improve on it next time. Now, that was an amazing change. In just 9 days, people had gone from complete disbelief to how can we do it again and how can we make it better. So what happened next? Next, we sold a £2,000 product. So we've gone from 27 to 2,000. So I was more than a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure that this was capable of doing that. How can you sell a £2,000 product from the page? This is something that I'd never done before. But what I did know was that this new system of marketing that I'd discovered gave us greater results than we'd ever seen. So I thought, right, we've got to do it. We've got to use this system for it. And what happened next? In just 9 days, we made £673,000 in sales. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was so exciting, so thrilling. Now, that experience, I took and I put it into a simple 5-step system so that we could repeat that level of success again and again and again. And like I said, in this video series, I would like to give you that 5-step system so that you can achieve the same level of success in your life and turn your expertise into cash. So let me remind you about what the 5 steps are again. Step 1 is to define your expertise. Step 2 is to build a community of raving fans. Step 3 is to earn their trust. Step 4 is to package your expertise. And step 5 is to make your community feel good about buying. So let's jump into the first step, which is define your expertise. So how do you define your expertise? You do that by answering a simple question. What problem do you solve? For who? So that is one simple statement, but it's kind of 2 problems. It's 2 questions, really. So what problem do you solve? And who do you want to help? So let's just look at the first part, which is what problem do you solve? So if I was to ask you, what do you do? The likelihood is that you would tell me your job title. So you might say, I'm an accountant. Or you might say, I'm an accountant for KPMG. So that tells me your job title and who you work for. It doesn't really tell me what you do, and it certainly doesn't tell me what problem you solve. Now, people ultimately, people are selfish. Just so you know, selfish is not a bad word in marketing. Yeah? People are selfish and they want solutions to their problems. So if you can tell them what problem you solve, suddenly you become much more interesting to them. Because people love problem solvers, yeah? We love people that save lives. Firefighters, doctors, yeah? We love people that can make our dreams come true. Rocket scientists that can send people into space. You know, these are problem solvers. These are creative people. That's what people are excited about. So what problem do you solve? Yeah? Now, don't worry. If you're not a rocket scientist or a doctor or a firefighter, you still solve problems for people. You can still solve problems for people. So let's look at a few examples of people that solve problems. So let's say you're an Amazon seller. So you have an account on Amazon and you sell supplements as an example. So you've got a great business and it gives you a good income and you're happy with it. But what problem could you solve? Well, there are plenty of people who are like you 2 years ago. They've done a course, they've set up an Amazon account, they want to get started, or they've got started, and suddenly they've hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And they're at the point, they're on the precipice. They're looking over the edge and they're going, am I prepared to dig in deep to get me where I want to go? Or am I just going to jack the whole thing in and say it didn't work? Now, you could genuinely help those people change their lives by helping them across the void. And how can you do that? Well, you have the hard-won skills. You've already walked across that void. So you can say to them, let me show you how. So you can solve the problem for them of optimizing their listing, of getting free traffic, of getting cheap traffic. Hey, maybe they've got a problem because they've made, claims that they can't make and Amazon's closed their account down. So you can say to them, let me look at your copy, let me make a few changes, now you can put it back up, now it won't get shut down. Now, to you, that might seem like a tiny little thing. It'll take you 10 minutes. Maybe it takes you an hour. To them, that's huge. Why? Because they've gone from my account's been shut down to I'm back in business. That's a huge change. And you can give that to somebody. Now, why wouldn't they happily pay you for that change in their life? So let's say you're a property investor, yeah? So you're a property developer and you've been doing it for years and years. Now, how could you help other people? So what do people want to know, yeah? So if it's somebody who, let's say they've done a few buy-to-lets, maybe they've done some HMOs, they suddenly want to cut their teeth. Now, one of the things that you know, that they know, is that you need a lot of money to get into developments. So if you can say, here's how to look credible in front, here's how to do developments with none of your own money. Who doesn't want to learn that? Everybody wants to learn that, because if you need £2 million before you can get started, there's not many people that can get into that game. But if you can say you can get started with nothing but your ambition, yeah, there's a few more people. There's a lot of people that want to get into that game, yeah? How else could you help people? You could help people by saying, here's how you assess a deal. Here's how you don't waste 18 months of your life and then come out with nothing to show for it. Wow, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't happily pay you for that, yeah? Or you might say, you want to teach people the whole process. You want to take people who have cut their teeth in property, like I say, maybe doing buy-to-lets, who want to go after the big fish, they want to hunt the big game, and you're going to say, no problem, I'll show you the whole process, from start to finish, how long it takes. I'll show you everything that you need to know. Those are all ways in which you can help people. So what about a photographer? Yeah? What do photographers do? Photographers take family portraits, yeah? Now, what you might say is, hey, I want to help everybody with a smartphone to take better pictures of their family. Because let's face it, we all take pictures of our family. We go out, we have a day out, we want to snap some memories. We put them on Facebook to show our friends, and more often than not, those pictures are terrible. I will hold my hand up and say, my pictures end up in that category when I take them on my iPhone. they are terrible. But if somebody could say, here's how you can take better pictures with your iPhone, yeah? Here's how you can look for where the light is, whether you're indoors, so use a window, whether you're outdoors, find some shade so that you then create depth in the picture, your pictures will instantly look better. Wow, that would be really useful, yeah? Or what about you say, I'm going to take amateur photographers who have an SLR and I'm going to show them how to use lighting well so that their pictures suddenly look professional. Yeah, you could do that. There are people that would want that. Or maybe you want to help struggling professional photographers who can't pay the bills and you're going to show them how to create a thriving business. These are all problems that you can solve. So get clear about what problem you can solve. Get clear about what problem you want to solve. Now, how do you know what problem you want to solve? It's a combination of your experience and expertise and what you're really passionate about. So when you're clear on that, then we can go on to the second part of this question, which is who do you want to help? Now, to answer that question fully, what I do is I say, you need to paint a portrait of your ideal customer. Now, there's a long way of doing this, there's a really long way of doing this, and then there's a short, simple way of doing this. Now, each version has value. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but the short, simple version kind of has the most value because it lets you get started fastest. We all want to get started fast too, right? And also, it doesn't get too confusing. So here's the short version. You need to answer 4 questions. So number 1 is, who are they? Who is it that you want to help? Yeah? Number 2, what do they want? Number 3, what is preventing them from getting it? And number 4, what do you have to say to them to make them feel good about buying? So let's talk about step 1, which is who are they? Now, you might be saying you want to help yourself 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And that's great. But is that, don't be too lazy into thinking that your ideal customer is just a younger version of you. Get really clear about who they are. What do they do as a job? How old are they? What is the situation going on in their life? Yeah? And then that takes us on to the next question, which is, what do they want? So, people buy what they want, not what they need. So that's why you need to be very, very clear about what people want. Now, let me give you an example. Let me give you a couple of examples to prove my point. Because you might be thinking, no, people buy what they need. No, they don't. They buy what they want. So, an alcoholic knows he doesn't need another drink. But he wants one, and he wants one really badly. So badly, in fact, that he will beg, borrow, and steal to get one. Let's look at another example. Somebody who is in debt. What do they need to know? They need to know how to save money. They need to know how to spend less than what they earn. But that's not what they want to do. That's not what they will pay to learn. They will pay to learn how to make more money. Now, unfortunately, making more money may not actually solve their problem, because they'll make more and they'll spend more. But that is irrelevant. If you want to help them, you need to give them what they want. And what they want is to learn how to make money fast. So what does your audience, what does your potential community, what does your ideal customer want? And that then takes us on to the third point, which is, what is preventing them from getting it? Now, I call this the obstacle. What is the obstacle in their way? Because you need to know how big the obstacle is, what the obstacle looks like, how long your ideal customer thinks it will take them to get around it, to climb over it, or to dig under it. Yeah? Because if you can show them how you can remove the obstacle from their life faster than they thought possible and faster than anybody else, then they will happily buy from you. So that brings us on to the fourth point, which is, what do you have to say to make them feel good about buying from you? Now, we all have different experiences. We all come to the table wanting slightly different things. So it's not like there is one simple answer to this question. So you need to think about, you need to grab all of your tools of persuasion. So what are the tools that you need in your toolbox? So number one is an inspiring personal story. Stories make you memorable. Stories make you unique. Stories give you a competitive advantage that nobody can steal. So you've got to have a story. 2, eye-watering guarantees. Yeah, who doesn't want a guarantee? Nobody wants to be taken as a fool. So what you can say is, I know that you're nervous about buying from me, and that's totally okay, because if you try this, if you have faith in me, I'm not asking you to have faith in me, I'm asking you to have faith in the system. If you try this and it doesn't work, I'll give you all your money back, or I'll give you double your money back. Yeah? For some people, that's what they want more than anything else. I actually think that the story is the most persuasive, the most powerful tool in your toolbox, but I'm going to share with you all of them. Yeah? An irresistible offer. So how do you create an irresistible offer? An irresistible offer is made up of an unbelievable bargain. It's made, plus some bonuses, plus some scarcity or some urgency. Yeah? So, an irresistible offer. We talked about a must-have bargain. And then the final one, which is the hardest to get, but the most powerful when you do, and that's a recommendation from a trusted friend. So you can become your community's trusted friend. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And when you're their trusted friend, you can make a recommendation and they will buy simply because of that. So create a powerful story. Become their friend so you can give a recommendation. Yeah? Give an eye-watering guarantee and have an irresistible offer. Those are the persuasion tools that you need in your toolbox. So we've covered a lot today. And now it's your turn. Now you need to actually do some work. And here's why. Because I don't want you to just watch this video and say, hey, yeah, that was pretty interesting, that was good, and then go about your day. Because if you do that, nothing will change, nothing will happen. And I don't want to just be an entertainment. What I want to do is I want to help you change your life. And I can only do that if you use the information I've given you. So to help you take action, to help you make a change in your life, what I've done is I've written a free report or a free ebook that you can get just by clicking the link below this video. So below the video, you'll see a picture of the report, a picture of the ebook, and there'll be a link just next to it that you can click to download it. That will walk you through the main points that all the points that we've covered in this video, and it will help you take action quicker. So please download that ebook and take action today. So in the next video, which will be in a couple of days' time, in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can build a community of raving fans for free. Until then, carpe diem.